Hey guys, in this video I'm going to introduce Newton's second law. So we all sort of know what Newton's second law is, F equals ma, but we're going to need to use it to analyze a lot of different situations in this half of the semester. It's basically going to be the fundamental tool we use to analyze how objects move, and so we're going to need a little more detail than just F equals ma. Newton's second law, as I stated carefully, sum of all the forces is the mass times the acceleration. So the sigma, that's the mathematical symbol for sum of all, and we're summing over all the forces that act on a single object. There can be any number of forces over here. This is the mass of the object, and this is the acceleration of the object, which we've already studied what the acceleration is. It's the time derivative of the velocity. So that's the basic overview of what Newton's second law is. You will sometimes see people write F net instead of sum of all the F. That means the same thing, meaning that net is a word for sum. So this sum of all the forces is the same thing as F net. So when we use Newton's second law, we have to be very careful because of this sum. We can't say, oh, we know what a force is on an object, that force gives us an acceleration. That's not true. Only the sum of all the forces on the object give us an acceleration. So you will often see me write Newton's second law in a slightly different form, which highlights that. So here's the form of Newton's second law that I will usually write, which is that the sum of all the force divided by the mass of the object tells you the acceleration. When I look at this, it's more of an instruction manual to say, first I find all the sum of the forces, then I divide by the mass to find the acceleration. Up here, it kind of looks like maybe if I knew the acceleration, I could maybe say something about a force, right? Maybe I had a bunch of forces acting on an object, I knew the acceleration, I might be able to find something out about one of those forces. That's not true, right? You need to know the sum of all the forces in order to determine the acceleration, and this just makes it a little bit more clear that that's the way that we need to use Newton's second law. So that's all I'm going to say about this. Like I said, this will be the primary tool we're going to use. We're going to develop some graphical techniques in order to analyze these situations and apply Newton's second law. So we're going to be doing a lot more with this equation, but this is the basic introduction to what Newton's second law is and the basic quantities that go into it.